according to YouTube.
We are live. We are flush with transfers. What a time. December. Gifts come early.
Let's just make sure. I'm just gonna confirm on YouTube on my phone. Just this is what we're doing these days. This is everyone gets to see how the sausage gets made.
Yeah, and everybody loves sausage.
Yeah.
I don't like sausage.
All
I don't
right.
know.
I'll go to
What
the
is
fantasy podcast live. Hey, what's happening here? No? You're not gonna let me go to it? That's not good. Alright, let's go to me. Live. Interesting.
Just gonna fill the silence with a random stat, but it ties into the whole soccer realm. It ties into the fantasy. It ties into just everything we've experienced as friends in the soccer world. If you could guess anybody who was the Serie A player of the month for the month of November, who would you say that would be?
I mean, based on you asking the question, it's either going to be. It's got to either be from the McTom Minute or Pulisic. I'm going to maybe go with Pulisic in hopes that it was Pulisic. But. Yeah.
No,
No?
no, not Pulisic. Not Pulisic. He's had a great. He has had a great run. The player is actually the first player, the first English player to ever win Player of the Month.
First English player. In Serie A. I don't know.
He won Jamie Vardy.
I did not know
G-
he was in Serie A.
yes, he plays for Cremonese and has been bagging some goals. And so he was actually named Serie A Player of the Month.
Wow. Good for him.
38 years old. Just goes to show never out of the game.
Good. Wow, that's awesome.
I don't know if it's really impressive that Vardy has been able to do that, or it's an indictment on the quality of Serie A that a 38-year-old guy has gone there and is now Player of the Month. Scored four
Um,
goals. He scored 4 goals in 10 appearances for Cremonese so far.
Interesting.
Like it cuts both ways. It's both impressive and then like, what is going on
He
in Serie A?
he
That guy.
like just went there this season,
He
right? Because
went
he
there
was
this
on
season.
Leicester
Yeah,
last year, right?
yeah. He just went there. It's actually a part of like a bigger thing I've noticed that there are a lot more English guys or like British guys or Irish guys even that are in Serie A than ever before. I've never known that league to be like British Isles and Ireland heavy on players, but you've got McTominay, you've got Gilmore at Napoli, you've got Jamie Vardy at Cremonese, you've got Ferguson at Roma, and I'm sure there's a bunch of others that I'm forgetting, but I just noticed when I look around that league, there's so many more. Oh, there's like Tomori on AC Milan. Um, there's just a bigger appetite for that type of player, which there never really was before. Oh, Jamie Vardy, first English player ever to be named Serie A Player of the Month.
All right. So I can't get this open on my phone. It says it's live. It just won't open. Maybe because it's live and it's me, they won't let me open it on my phone. I don't know. Well, either way, not like anyone
Text
watches.
me. Text me real quick. See if I can open it on my phone.
Um, Let me see if I, because it's like on my I don't have. Let me see if I can find what the actual link to watch is. That's the stream URL. All right, let's see if this works. Uh, It's like the studio. I'm not sure if it'll work for you because it's the studio link, but we'll see.
Well, let's see. Let's make sure the fruits of our labor
Yeah.
are active. Because again, this is what you're getting here.
Yeah.
NCOO pod. You're not just getting team reveals. You're not getting here's who I'm gonna pick this week. All that boring content that you suck down already. Make up your own mind, people. We're here for content, for banter, for ideas.
Maybe
This
for
is
some
the thing.
maybe for some gambling picks. Oh, I like the
Plain things. Exactly.
I like the sheep ranch hat. I like the sheep ranch hat.
Yeah.
Did you like that course?
I did. I did like it. You know, it is wide open. But there were some really like beautiful holes there.
Yeah.
Like
It's like
there are
pretty much
some that are very
all on the
forgettable.
water, right? It's like almost all on the water. Well, a lot of it.
Yeah, I'll say there's like 6 holes probably that
Yeah.
are on the water or adjacent to the water. I mean, yeah, I mean, look, for a lot of the course, there's a bunch of holes that are forgettable.
Yeah.
But there's, you know, if you can remember 6 or 7 holes that are pretty beautiful, I think that's a pretty good strike rate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube Studio. I'm having to download. Let's
Here, wait,
just
let me try something. Let me try a different link that might work.
Up for it. I'm getting the Studio app now. So
No, you don't want to get this.
if anything, we're driving downloads, KPIs for those advertisers out there, potential advertisers.
Yeah.
This conversation here leads to downloads.
Hey, Roback, I like your sweatshirts or hoodies, so you know you could sponsor us too. What's going on?
And I've got that app. Let's see. Let's go to the link. See if it populates. Studio. Live streaming isn't available right now.
All right. I gotta find this. Other... Wait, the stream health is excellent. Oh, share. Here we go. All right, here's the right link.
Live streaming isn't available right now.
Hold on. All right. I gotta find this. I think I just found the right link. There we go.
Did I tell you the story that when I was at the Real Sociedad game, I befriended about an 85-year-old fan who was sitting next to me?
I believe you. Yeah, I think we were talking about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So literally every time Real Sociedad gets a win, I WhatsApp this old guy,
Oh, that's amazing.
and he always writes back. And I sent him a picture of Sebi wore the jersey the other day. And I was like, "Good morning from Los Angeles," and he always responds with.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I have a 85-year-old.
You have like a
Pal.
pen pal, like a
Sense
modern day
guy.
pen pal.
Yeah. Yep, we're good. We're live.
All right. All right. Well,
That worked. That link worked.
yeah. Welcome.
So they played today against Girona at 12. So all goes well. My guy is going to be getting. My guy Jesus is going to be getting the text.
I think you should send Jesus the link next time. See if he wants to hear us banter. Anyway, another week of fantasy to recap in the Fantasy OO. But before we get into the nitty gritty, let's talk a little bit about last week's predictions. Wolves over Man U, not a win. You know what? Look, I think
that was a stretch.
that one was more like I kind of know the Wolves stink, but for the content and just the banter for United losing, that's where I'm going to go with the pick. We're not holding that one against you.
No. That was a one-off. But you could see a world where, but now we know that Wolves just suck. Like they're terrible. Like they are going to probably put up one of the worst sort of like Derby-like performances ever, it looks like. Because I haven't really watched them play.
Yeah.
They were dreadful. I was
gave
like, what
up.
am I watching?
They gave up.
They can't even connect passes. Like they still scored a goal. So it was 1-1 at one point. So it wasn't that crazy.
It was 1-1 at the half.
Yeah. It wasn't that crazy.
No.
But it was more of a there is a world out there where Wolves ping it together for one game and it would go against United. My worry is it's going to be against Tottenham at some point, but I think at that point, Wolves will be relegated and they won't care anymore. So.
Yeah, I mean, they have two. Before we get into the more predictions, they have 2 points through 15 games. The worst season of all time was 11 points by Derby, and that was 2007, 2008. I was interested. I looked all this up. I think Southampton recently had 12 points in one of the last couple of years, or 13 points, as like they're the second worst team ever in the Prem. But I think this Wolves team, like the way that they look this past weekend, I don't see on Monday. Like, who are they going to beat? I don't know. They've almost played everybody. They haven't beaten anybody. Yeah, I don't know.
Like
I
the
think they're going
promoted
to set
sides
the
are
record.
way better than them. Like Leeds are way better than them. Sunderland are way better than
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Burnley are way better than them. So it's like West Ham show signs of life, and they could probably, yeah. If we could do another bold prediction, because we've been pretty good on predictions for the most part, I'm gonna make a bet that they just changed managers. So
Yeah.
two bets. Does this manager stay?
No.
Does this guy?
No.
He's probably gonna be out. So like they're probably on 3 managers by the end of the year. Also, they put up the lowest point total. What I saw yesterday was a dreadful side. They will put up the least amount of points. I think.
Yeah, I mean they're certainly on pace for it. They only get they get 1 point every 7.5 games right now, so they're on pace for like 7 points, 6, 7 points, and 0 win. Like there's 0, 13 and 2, or 0, 2 and yeah. 0, I guess they do. He goes win loss. Yeah, 0, 13 and 2.
So to round out their year, they got Arsenal this weekend away. Arsenal away.
Yeah.
Brentford at home. Brentford a good side.
At home too.
Liverpool away. Manchester United away. So
Oh yeah, they're
I
gonna
mean,
have.
they're gonna get
Wait, they go
hammered.
back to United. Is United in week 19 or 20?
Let's see. It's 16, 17, 18, 19.
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
Usually you don't.
Well, I think a lot of teams are doing that. Like I've noticed.
That's new this year.
I've noticed from the fixtures, like Arsenal just played Villa, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Yeah, that was my
Arsenal
pick.
play.
Yeah.
Arsenal are going to be playing Villa again in like 3 weeks.
So I guess 19 is 19 repeat of 15 then. That's interesting that they used to never do that. It used to play like 19 teams, 19 different teams in the first 19 weeks, and then you replayed them again, obviously in different orders for the rest. And obviously, if you had like blank game weeks or double game weeks, it would change. But we haven't had that yet this year. So, well,
Yeah. So example, like, and I noticed it with Arsenal just looking at their schedule. They play Villa on the 30th. So,
yeah.
yeah, the game week 19. I think that there's going to be a lot of like repeat fixtures.
It might be everyone repeats their 15 opponent in 19, which could be pretty insightful by game week 19. It makes me think. I'm thinking right now from a fantasy perspective because I still have my triple captain. I still have my bench boost. Spoiler alert, I was almost dead set on playing my triple captain next week when Holland plays West Ham because West Ham's defense still stinks. But maybe I save it, triple Bruno in 19 against Wolves, and then do bench boost next week or 18. Interesting. All right, I gotta think about that because I gotta use both those chips by week 19. So, well, before we get into that nitty gritty, let's go back to maybe a happier prediction last week. I picked 2 games with like if they ended in a tie, then you got your money back. But I picked Palace win with no tie and Villa win with no tie. That parlay was a 5-1 winner. So if you're following along on our betting picks, you're up 4 units. If you win 5 units with me, you lost 1 unit going with Schwartz's Wolves bet. You're up 4 units, and I'm gonna track this throughout the year. So we're up. If you're sticking with us, you're up 4 units. We'll have some more picks.
We're gonna put an asterisk by that one. I won't be doing any more.
Look. We have to be like, if we make the prediction on here, even though it was like, whatever, and I feel like you didn't really do a lot of, you kind of like picked it on the spot and you thought it was fun. It wouldn't have been what you would have probably put your actual money behind. We still.
But now we know Wolves are trash.
Yes. And speaking of how trash Wolves are, that helped Mr. Julian Mintz, who was top of the table going into the week, by 1 point, stretch his lead up to 25. He had Bruno, which amongst other players on his team, but Bruno really helped him stretch out over James. He has 929 points overall through 15 weeks. He is knocking on the top 50K in the world. So I think he was like 400 or 500K like 3-4 weeks ago, just flying up the ladder to the top of the table. Like I mentioned, James, tough week. He only scored 44 points, 904 overall. Sneed, third place, still 53 points this week, 899 total. Neil vaulted past both myself and Bowman as he moved up into fourth place. He had 74 points, a little bit more on that a touch later, but 880.
16 points on the bench.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. 884 total for Neil, 45 back of first. I sit in fifth place, a mixed bag, I would say, with 59 points this week. Some hits, some misses. 883 points overall, 46 points behind the league leader, Julian Mintz, 22 points ahead of sixth place, Matt Bowman. So a bit of separation. You got like kind of Mintz, then James, Sneed, Neil, all kind of right there, and then I'm a little bit behind them, and then Bowman's a little bit behind me. Manager of the week this week, Matt Geritano, edging out Neil. He had 75 points. He captained Foden for a 24-point haul. Keenan Dewsbury Hall had 16 for him, and Bruno had 18 for him. So a very solid week for Geritano. On the flip side of that, our bum of the week was Fed Bianchi. He only scratched out 40 points, and that included 10 points from Sanchez and 8 points from Senesi on his bench. Tarkowski had 9 for him, but 8 out of his 11 guys, including his captain, blanked. So that sent Fed down the table a little bit.
See you, buddy.
Yeah.
I needed that. I'm grinding away, so I needed him to drop.
Schwartz had a good week this week. I think you're up in the top 10 now, right? Or 9th?
I'm in 9th. Yeah. Chipping away.
Yeah, look.
Had some horrific weeks, so
Yeah.
No chips worked. Free hit didn't work. Triple captain didn't work. Those things, but we're chipping away.
The transfers of the week, I said a little bit more on Neil. Neil had a master class with his transfers. He brought in Foden and Bruno, took out Caicedo and Salah, who both blanked and both had donuts. So a net plus 30 for his transfers from Neil this week. That's how you do it. For the first time, I think all season, we have a no bum of the week from a transfer perspective. Everybody who made transfers ended up like either net zero or net positive with all the transfers that they made. There might have been like a one random -2, but it was offset by a plus somewhere else. So no transfer bums of the week this week.
That's interesting considering how many players we have.
Yeah. I think it's just like it was very apparent. Like, oh, you should probably like a lot of people brought in Foden, and when he has 12 points, and most people took out guys that just was like Semenyo was a popular transfer out. He blanked. He did score, but it got called back. That could have created some negatives for people, but the goal got.
I almost expected him to score. As soon as you just hold somebody forever, they don't do anything, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna pick you up now, and there's the goal.
Yeah, perfect. At least Bumo got us one final goal before departing my team. I'm sure he's probably departing your team too.
Out of my team too. Yeah. I mean, he might do something against Bournemouth. I don't think Bournemouth are like. Bournemouth started strong and have slowly just ticked their way down.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he may do something as a last stitch, but I've got better things in mind.
And that brings us to our first unofficial sponsored segment of the week, the Crunch of the Week, brought to you by Nestle. Best chocolate crunch bar in the game, Nestle. We are open for business. All right, I only have one crunch this week. I feel like I've been using a lot of some pretty good stats. So this one is just another game that we're going to play here. I'm gonna say your over under here is 5.5. Can you name me the top 10 fantasy scorers this season?
Well, I've seen that Bruno is now the top scoring midfielder. So Bruno's in there.
Yep.
Holland is in there.
Yep. Two.
Um, I would say gotta be like a Crystal Palace defender. So I'm gonna say Ahe for what that bastard's been doing out there on the field.
Yep.
That's three. Odin started slow. He doesn't have anything. Arsenal defense hasn't been as good. It's probably it's like defenders. I feel like it's those guys, and then it's gonna be like a I don't know, like a Tarkovsky.
Tarkowski not there. Yeah.
Not Tarkov. Well, then it might be a Semenyo still. Is
Yeah.
Semenyo still?
Semenya, yeah.
It's still, he hasn't done shit in a long time, and he's still in there.
Yeah, no, and after you go, I'll tell you the point totals for each of the people, and you're gonna be like, oh wow, that's like kind of crazy.
All right, and then I guess I'll just go one. I mean, Munoz has been killing it,
Yeah.
and I'll just throw him.
5, yeah. All right, so you got 5. You probably would have
Okay.
got a couple more. So Holland is first, 122 points. Gahey second, 91. So a 31 point gap. Gahey second. Munoz is third with 89. So the second and third highest fantasy scorers of the season are Palace defenders. Bruno, after like a bunch of good weeks, he's at 85. He's in fourth place. This name was a surprise to me. This one was a complete surprise. Declan Rice, fifth place, 84 points. Yeah, I did not know that.
It
Semenyo
must just be like ticking along with like assists and
Yeah.
DEFCON
Yeah.
stuff.
Semenyo, 83 points. Chalaba, 82 points. Bruno Guimaraes, so double Bruno in the top 10. Guimaraes, 81 points. Also tied with him at 81 points is Gabriel from Arsenal. And then two guys tied at 80 points in 10th place, Lacroix from Crystal Palace and Thiago from Brentford. So, like, there's a 30-point drop-off from Holland to Gahey, and then between Gahey and Thiago tied for 10th, there's 11 points separation in between them. So that is less than a point a week, like just a huge bunch. And then there's a bunch of guys at like 79, 78, 77. Foden is almost in there as well. So yeah, the math works out. There's only 2 forwards in the top 10, 4 defenders, and 4 midfielders.
I think we're about to start right sizing that a lot. I think Bruno is going to start to like separate.
Yeah.
You're going to get the Foden start to separate.
Yeah.
The cream is going to start to rise in a lot of ways. But that it's so indicative of like Crystal Palace. Like their defenders have just been juggernauts, and so like that's where you get James. It's feast or famine with James. He goes 3 at the back in Crystal Palace. They all hit. He gets 37 points, something crazy.
Yeah.
They don't get a shutout. Then it all goes away.
It's also interesting, and it makes sense with like where the table is. No Liverpool, no Tottenham,
Yep.
1 Chelsea, and it's a defender, right? And so it's like I guess City only have 1, which I guess is a little bit of a surprise, but he's so far ahead. And then Arsenal have 2, and yeah, it's very. I mean, 3. Like Lacroix, Guehi, and Munoz, 3 Crystal Palace defenders are all in there, and I think Senesi is like just outside of it too for Bournemouth. But yeah, it's a very weird season. Like if you could get like I would have bet so much money that 15 weeks into the season, Salah would be a top 10 fantasy player, like barring injury, right? Like he didn't get injured, he just We'll get into more of that later. Let's talk about
It's a funky season that way.
Yeah, very funky season. But let's talk about the games. As always, we start at the top of the Prem table. We mentioned this a little bit in our prediction recap, but Arsenal 1, Villa 2. Arsenal felt like what 2 weeks ago after City faltered, like, oh, they've got the title wrapped up. Well, Butterfingers Arsenal are already fumbling the trophy because their lead is only 2 points over Man City. Buendia with the I think the stoppage time winner propelled the home side over Arsenal. Villa just have been on fire now, and we said like, hey, we're gonna find out a lot more about Villa after the next few weeks. Look, they've got 5 Prem wins in a row. They're in third place. They're one behind City and only 3 behind Arsenal. They have a matchup with Arsenal again at the end of this month that could, put them ahead of Arsenal on the table. So,
No, it's crazy. They are 3 points back. Like,
yeah,
this is, they started the first 5 games
they
like
were
without a
horrible.
win. Yeah.
We both had Watkins. He didn't.
Yep.
They didn't do like it wasn't just like, oh, Watkins is just like they're scoring a bunch of goals and they didn't score anything. And now all of a
Nothing.
sudden they're and again, like, interesting thing, I mentioned the top 10. No Villa players. I don't think there's a Villa player close to the top 10 in fantasy scoring.
No. Anybody, it's like Matty Cash maybe,
Yeah,
but
think
I don't know.
Cash is
I
probably
don't
the
know.
highest player.
I don't know how much he's done in the Prem versus like what he's been doing in Champions League all at the same time. But
Yeah, no, I'm pretty
like
sure
a guy like Rogers has not been a stalwart at all when he was last year.
Ramsey hasn't done anything. Like I don't think
Ramsey isn't
yeah,
anything.
nothing. We'll do a quick check. This will be interesting. Who is the highest scoring Aston Villa player? Right now, it is Matty Cash has 73, so he's still like 7 points behind the top 10. The second highest is Morgan Rogers with 61, and then you have Martinez at 54. Yeah, I mean Watkins is 45. Like, it's kind of crazy that they're in third place. They haven't had they've just been grinding out wins.
They're just getting like scattered production. Like if you look at their last game, like who scored? It was Cash
And
scored a
Buendia.
goal and Buendia scored. And assists came from Pau, another defender, and Kamara.
Yeah.
Like it's not a that's not a blue chip setup, by the way.
No, no. Yeah. So I mean, look, I just I don't even. I guess Matty Cash should be somebody that we all consider having, but even then, he's still not a top. Like he's not outside of the top 5 in defenders, and like they haven't been keeping a ton of clean sheets. I guess he's marking with goals and assists here and there, but yeah, I mean, very rarely do you see a team in the top 3 in the Prem, and they don't have anybody that's like, oh, you've got to have him in fantasy right now. So
Yeah.
interesting.
And let's see, like Matty Cash from a DEF CON perspective.
I don't think. I mean, he wasn't in. Remember, we did the DEF CON last week. He wasn't like bar.
Yeah, well, he went 6, 8, 5, 5, 7, 7, 5, 3, 9, 5.
So he's,
He got DEF CON once in the very first game. That was it.
so yeah, that makes it hard to. And they don't have that many clean sheets. I don't think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, again, the stupid site took away the scores when
Yeah.
you look at a player, which makes zero sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. Love how they did that. Not. Moving along down the table, City, they handled their business against Sunderland at the Etihad. A 3-0 win, a goal and an assist from Foden. Cherki had 2 assists. I think if you have a fantasy spot, you're looking for a midfielder, Raynon Cherki's kind of been doing things for City. Seems to have kind of replaced Tijani Rangers as a starter on that team. He's pretty cheap, I think. He's like 6.0, I believe. Or was, maybe 6.1 or 6.2 now. But that could be someone to keep an eye on or to bring into your team if you have a spot. I mean, obviously, I think he would be your third City. I think you got to have Foden, got to have Holland. And then if you don't want to have, like, maybe O'Reilly or Cherki or Vardiol, City's defense are starting to score some goals. They're not getting clean sheets. They did this week, but they've been Gvardiol's kind of been hitting the mark. He's been marking lately too. So
He's starting to heat up.
yeah.
He got an assist in Champions League against Real.
Yeah. Big win for City against Real Madrid in Champions League this week, and it was with a slightly rotated side too. So just City are starting. It's Pep.
The only hesitation with a Cherky is
Yeah.
He's gone. I know obviously he was injured, but you look at his numbers, he's gone 14 minutes, 72 minutes, 52, 76, 15, 8, 81.
Yeah.
When he does play, 2 assists, 1 assist, 1 assist, 2 assists. It's hard. Like we come into this like condensed fixture schedule. Hard to know if like a Cherky's gonna get time. But that Rabona, that run, the cutback, the Rabona, Foden goal,
Yeah.
F's kiss.
And I guess the other problem with him is that when he doesn't start, he makes a cameo appearance. So it's not even like, oh, he's not going to play. You get to at least bring a bench guy on that's going to go 90. No, you're getting the one pointer outside of a mark. But yeah. Crystal Palace, 4th place. A late winner through Mark Gahey, our second leading scorer in the fantasy. You just cannot stop marking, whether it's assists or goals. I mean, I think you texted me this. You didn't say it on the pod last week. You're like, he's Trent Alexander-Arnold reincarnated somehow. Like every week.
God damn.
Yeah.
Every time I look at Crystal Palace, I see a goal. I'm like, is it Mateta? It's never Mateta.
No.
It's always a fucking defender.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Or like Wharton with an assist. I'm like, ah.
Yeah. They did. A forward scored their first goal, but it was Eddie Nketiah. Yeah. He so Palace have 26 points. They're 7 behind Arsenal, 4 back of Villa in 3rd. So a bit of separation between kind of 3rd and 4th place. 5th place Chelsea drew 0-0 against Bournemouth. 5 saves, 3 bonus for Sanchez. Defcon also 3 bonus for Chalobah. So yeah, I mean, Chelsea are Chelsea. They've just been doing what they've been doing all year. Don't really have much more to add on them.
That game is huge for somebody like Mintz, who got 21 points from Sanchez and Chalobah.
And you got double, triple bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's sweet when it happens to you, when you get like double your players getting max bonus. Like, wow, what a dream.
Yeah, and then when you're on the other side, you're like, oh, come on, man. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah. And it was like, Sanchez was ahead of Chalobah in bonus like all game, and at the very end, they just like bumped him up to a tie. It was like, oh, come on, man. You're going to give him all the bonus. Yeah. We talked about this one. United for Wolves 1. United 6th place from the depths. Bruno 2-1. Bumo hit the net. They are tied with Chelsea, 26 points, but they sit behind them on goal differential. Note here, at the beginning of the season, we are 15 weeks into the season. So if you had told me 15 weeks into the season, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Newcastle would all be right next to each other on the table, I would have been like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I would not have thought it would have been in 10th, 11th, and 12th place.
Yeah. Which really speaks to, Liverpool stinking, and that could have been much worse if not for those late heroics to start the season. Tottenham's fall in like October and November, where we went from 3rd place and then plummeted after a terrible run. And Newcastle have just been like weird in the league. Like they've been so like hot or cold. Like sometimes they look fantastic. Sometimes they look just absolutely terrible. And I mean, 12th place. Where are they in Champions League? I feel like in Champions League they're doing well.
I think they won this. Are they in Champions or are they in Europa?
They're in Champions League, and they drew with Leverkusen. The 88th minute goal from Alejandro Grimaldo tied that one up.
Okay. I saw they were ahead 1-0. Yeah, I guess like it kind of makes sense. I know they brought in Voltamad, but they did lose Isak like fairly late in the window. It's always hard to replace a guy who scored so many of your goals, and even though you had a replacement for him, it's not like they got Voltamad in like July and he had the whole preseason to play with the team. They kind of brought him in once they realized we got to kind of get rid of Isak here.
And Voltamada has really dried up as well. I know he had some goals in there. He had some penalties, but all of a sudden Gordon is taking the penalties.
Yeah, the ginger Prince Anthony Gordon.
Has been devastating because as a Voltamada owner, watching him hold the ball, not hold the ball is brutal. Yeah, quick look at the Champions League table. Tottenham and Newcastle are also close, 11th and 12th in the standings at the moment with 11 points, and Tottenham has 11, Newcastle have 10 points. So they're looking good to qualify for the next round, but they're pushing for the top 8, so you get that first round bye.
This 24 qualify, right? So the 8 get the
24
bye.
qualify, top 8 automatically go to the round of 16. 9 through 16 are seeded in those playoffs. 17 through 24 unseeded.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, speaking of penalties and like who's gonna take it, did you see in the Wolves Man United game? It was 3-1. United got a late penalty. Bruno and Cunha were talking, and Bruno. So what the announcers had said was, "Oh, Cunha wanted the ball," and Bruno said no. What actually happened is Bruno went up to Cunha and tried to give him the penalty, but Cunha didn't want to take it and score against his old team. So Bruno took it, but he offered it to Cunha. So I've talked a lot very badly about Bruno. I think like he's the rot at United. That showed that's like a good story. Proved me wrong. Like he was trying to be a really good teammate. So more power to him.
Yeah, that's great. And I gotta say thank you to Cunha for that little bit of loyalty. Needed those points, buddy.
I could have used Cunha taking that penalty.
Bruno, don't ever fucking do that again.
Yeah.
But that's a sweet little story. You kind of like to hear that from a leadership.
Yeah, I guess we can't ignore
Ronaldo never would have done that shit.
Yeah.
Ever.
No. We can't ignore the elephant in the room here. And that's Liverpool. We called this out. I think it was like a month or two ago. I was like, arm slot, second year, not going well. What's gonna happen? Is he on the hot seat? And boy, I did not see it turning like this. I mean, he brought in $400 million worth of signings. Only one of which he's like, oh, I'm gonna build my team around him. That guy hasn't scored a goal yet. They're 10th in the table. He's benched Salah, who this weekend came out in the media and basically said the relationship's beyond repair
and scorched the earth.
Yeah, potentially the club. They've got like club quote unquote legends saying like, oh, Salah's out of line. You have Virgil backing Salah. Just wild stuff. It seems like the honeymoon from winning the league. Yeah.
On reality TV show over there at the moment.
Yeah, the honeymoon from winning the league last year is over for him. I think with a lot of their supporters, like the results haven't been good. He's lost at least half the locker room. He lost who I think is the best player in Liverpool, at least modern Premier League history, in Salah. Like Salah's never going to play for this guy again. Doesn't seem like. Crazy stuff. This is not how I saw this ending.
What's crazy about Liverpool is like they're very tribal Liverpool fans. You know what I mean? Like they can turn on you in an instant.
Yeah.
It's like you saw what happened with Trent when he left to go to Real Madrid, right? Like that's he's a born and raised Scouser, like been at the club forever. They don't like if you come at the club, that whole like you never walk alone stuff is kind of funny because they will turn their back on you instantly.
Well,
and it's crazy.
You'll never walk alone as long as you're wearing the Liverpool red. But if you say like, "Oh, I want to try something new," well, you're not part of their gang anymore, and then your ass is walking alone.
Which is wild because like Michael Owen left. I don't remember, but maybe it was so long ago. Like I don't remember how that was perceived. The coverage of it wasn't as accessible. So I don't know if it was that crazy. Like Steve McManaman left Liverpool and went to Real Madrid. But it's just they are like a pack of snakes ready to pounce on you and rip into your neck when you say anything that goes against the club at all. It's impressive on one end, but it's also kind of like unless you're a Stevie G who like grows, it stays there your entire career, you're always potentially going to be like Salah. Like this week, the stuff that I read from people, it was almost they're turning their back on. I'm like, turning their back. The guy scored 1 billion goals for you. He won you everything you could ever want. And in one comment, one interview, you're going to be like, ah, and just cast him aside. I was like, that's violent to me. Violent.
They won. Has he? Did they win? He won two prems, right? They didn't. They haven't won
Prem,
two prems and
champion.
Champions League. Like what? And he's been the guy. He's been the guy since you signed him from Roma. He's been your best player for close to 15 years now. I mean, well, probably 12, 30, maybe 10 years, a decade.
And
I
one of the
think.
Champions Leagues you lost is because he got body slammed by Sergio Ramos and like or his shoulder or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just when you read the stuff and like Jamie Carragher's loving this moment right now because he's become this lightning rod
Oh,
for everything
he
Liverpool.
gets to be the main
Like
character again. He loves it.
exactly. Like he's soaking it in and lapping up all the attention and using his platform to just be like the face, and which I find just like gross because I think Jamie Carragher is kind of but yeah, just like the turning the back, like you would think a former player would kind of be like, we all have a bad moment here and there, and especially the polarizing nature of today's media, like allows for this. That you would think there'd be some grace that would be offered up, but instead it's like I'm gonna use my platform to just slam this
But
guy and make it about me, and it's like, come on, man.
But here's my thing.
Like,
What do you want Salah to do? He feels like he's being disrespected. Slot's not. If you believe Salah, Slot's not even telling him that he's not going to play. He just like shows up. He's on the bench. He doesn't ever get in. Like clearly, he doesn't feel like he could go to like he almost has to go to the media to like make a stink in order to enact change. That's how he feels. And whether like he's not gonna go out like Trent, where he's like, oh no, like if he had asked like quietly like asked to transfer in January because it's like oh he didn't like Slot, the fans would have turned on him. Now he can go in there and be like, look, I want to stay here. The manager doesn't want me. He's told me I don't have a place in the team anymore. I don't want to leave, but I have to play in the next 6 months because there's a World Cup coming. And if I don't play, I'm ruining my last chance to represent Egypt on the world stage. So I have to be getting regular minutes. And if this guy's not going to play me, I need to go somewhere that will. And if he doesn't come out and make it a me versus him thing, because what's ever happening in private is not doing any wonders for him, is not moving the needle, he almost has to do this to protect his image at the club. To your point, they're a pack of rabid wolves if you want to leave. And so he's saying, like, I don't want to leave. This guy's making me leave. So like, don't turn on me, turn on him if I leave. And you know what? I respect it. He's won them 2 league titles. He won them a Champions League, and like he's earned it. It's not like he's out there moping around when he's been put in. Sure, he's not scoring goals, but he hasn't given up. He's not like walking around with his hands on his hips and not
he's
trying.
not
Like,
doing
yeah,
what Isak did, like trying to hold out and do it. He's trying to
yeah,
play. No,
exactly.
he's not asking for more money. He's like,
No,
he just wants to play.
and he gave him
Uh,
a chance. Like he look a lot of maybe that's not the right way to do it, but he felt like that's how he had to do it. And Virgil in like the build up to it, he was like kind of walking out, and the Liverpool press officer was like, "I don't think this is a good idea." And Virgil stopped the press officer and was like, "No, let Mo speak." So like clearly there's some stuff in the locker room going on where like Mo was supported by his teammates in doing this, and they felt like this was what had to happen to get him back on the pitch. Like people go through slumps all the time. A guy like Mo, it's like an NBA player. It's like, oh, he's had a bunch of games where he's not shooting the 3-pointer very well, but he's Steph Curry. Like, you just got to keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. You're going to shoot your way out of the slump eventually. Like, if he doesn't play, he's never going to score again. All he needs to do is see the ball hit the net probably one more time, and he'll be right back into it. So, you know what? I think the further away we are from those comments, the more I'm kind of backing Salah here, even though I'd love for him to leave Liverpool, because I think if he's gone, they don't have much teeth in their attack, truthfully.
oh,
If you want to build around Verts and Cody Gakpo and think you're going to beat City that way, like, by all means, try it. Let's see what happens with Konate behind. I mean, like, Good luck. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, how do you replace like that level of production, which they clearly haven't, and they're sitting 10th?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Like, it's just, I mean, a lot of these like late 90s, early aughts players are all the pundits now. So you see this a lot with United. You're seeing it with just Jamie Carragher from a Liverpool standpoint.
Uh,
Those are the faces that have the most like prominence in media right now. Is the Keanes, the Nevilles, Scholes just kind of is tagged along with that. But then yeah, it's just I find it crazy that the Liverpool fans so quickly like have like a Men in Black like poof, and it's like, what did he say? Fuck him. He's out. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, you've won everything you could hope to win with this guy. He's an all-time legend for you guys, and this is how you react. It's like, it's weird takes by them.
It'll be interesting if he does leave. Are we gonna get some like people burning the Salah jersey on the street?
Probably will. Like our very own Matt Geritano. I think when Suarez left or something, he burned his Suarez jersey. So it's like, he went to Barcelona. I mean, the guy's from Uruguay. It's not like he's.
Yeah. I mean, you just brought up a very interesting thing I hadn't thought about yet. And the juxtaposition of like Carragher's place in Liverpool history, what happened after he left the club in terms of their success, versus like these United pundits who all won everything possible and now they're seeing their club not win. I wonder if there's like a lot of jealousy from Carragher as like, oh wow, like I was a club legend, now I'm not because I never won dick for them. Now this guy's come in, all these like this new wave of Liverpool players, they've come in, they've won everything. They're all it now, and they're getting all the credit, and I'm kind of gonna get left in the dust. I've got to kind of stand my ground as a Liverpool legend.
For sure, it's
like,
100% an ego play. Like, he has a job as a pundit to do his thing, but he is 100% leaning in on this. I'm going to get surpassed. Stevie G will always be on the Mount Rushmore,
yeah.
Right? You've got your Dalglishes, you've got your Ian Rushes, you've got all those other guys for Liverpool. And I'm going to get surpassed by Virgil, for one, obviously, and rightfully so. But, you know, your Salahs, except like this modern era, I'm going to get pushed down.
Yeah.
So how do I stay relevant? And that's using my platform as a pundit to continue to push against it and keep my face in the conversation. He's 100%. Jamie Carragher's not some saint. Like, if you look back, like, there's videos of him, like, spitting at people at cars. Like, he's not some, like, you know, holier than thou guy. Like, this dude is, I don't know. Carragher, there was a great thing where the guy's like, literally after the day after this happened, this pundit asked him, you know, he's talking about the Salah thing, and he goes, have I ever talked about Salah's performance on the pitch? And the guy immediately says, you said just the other day that his legs were gone. Like,
I saw that clip on Twitter. I'm like, he's like, 2 days ago, you just.
His legs were gone. So, you know, here we are talking about Carragher, so he's getting what he wants.
Exactly. Well, probably a lot more to come here in the coming weeks as we see what happens with Salah. Is he going to play this weekend? Then he's going to be at the African Cup of Nations, and who knows if
it's a good time for him to go away.
Yeah,
you know, like African Cup of Nations, complete reset. He can come back.
Well,
Liverpool might be 14th by then, but
is he going to come back on Liverpool, or are they going to? Is he going to go to All right, here's a very real thing we haven't talked about. Like, okay, a lot of rumors that Alonso might be out at Madrid. If he gets fired and they bring in Klopp, isn't Klopp's first call like, hey, January, come, even if it's just a loan, fine, you don't want to sell him yet? That's fine. Loan him to me. I'll play him the rest of the year, get him ready for the World Cup.
I can completely see that. Like, Real Madrid's not lighting it up right now. You know what I mean? Like,
they're going to try to sell Vinny. They might sell Vinny.
Without Mbappe scoring, they don't have a whole lot. Like, they are very top heavy in terms, like, Mbappe didn't play. And, you know, I saw this crazy stat. that Rodrigo scored in that game, that Champions League game, it was his first goal in like 38 games.
Oh,
That kid was like lighting it up like years ago.
Pep
And
Pep tried
that's
to
a
sign him like 3 times, and Madrid they kept rejecting
yeah, well, I think Tottenham even were trying to get him, but obviously he rejected.
it.
Um, rightfully so. Yeah, it was some crazy. I need to fact check it. But it was like his first goal in a long time.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. All right. Well, like I said, more to talk about with Liverpool coming up, I'm sure, in this saga.
32 matches he hadn't
That's
scored.
crazy. That's almost a whole season. I mean, I'm sure that counts cup games and Champions League, so it's probably like half a season. But even still,
Still,
yeah,
you think a cup game, you go in against some scrub, you
yeah,
bag three. You know what I mean?
exactly. Uh, well, that brings us to, I think, our co-favorite segment of the pod, the Mick Tom Minute. And we had some action this week, boss. Starting with the weekend, Rasmus Holland with a brace to lead Napoli to a win over Juventus, 2-1. Marcus Rashford in their La Liga game this weekend drew a penalty resulting in a goal and then assisted for Barca in the Champions League this week. And then the real star of the McTom Minute this week, Anthony. He scored a goal against Barca over the weekend and then had another in Champions League this week against Dinamo Zagreb. Anthony scoring 2, Hodgland scoring 2, Rashford with 2 assists. The McTom Minute is firing once again.
It is. We should. I wish we could package it up like a stock and just like some sort of ETF. And because like it's hot. It is so hot. It's funny about Rashford is like you see a lot of rumors, and I don't put a lot of credit into it because like you hear these rumors coming out of Spain of like, oh, they don't want to sign him, they don't want to da da da. You know, Rashford has been producing. Like whether they want to admit or not, he's one of their best players out there at the moment.
Why wouldn't they want to sign? Is the
It's a wage. I think it's a wage demand thing.
But aren't they paying? Is United paying like a bulk of his wages while he's on loan? Because that would actually be even funnier. That would be like when Coutinho went to from Barca to Bayern. Barca paid all of his wages on that loan, and then he scored 4 goals against them in that Champions League game. Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
If United are paying all of Rashford's wages, that'd be crazy. I mean,
Yeah, so it's like he's killing Anthony.
how are
It's
these
such a
Spanish
like
clubs so
I love
poor?
seeing it because like
Like,
he was so bad and like the banter was so bad about him and like he is just it just really goes to show like some situations just don't work for players and like Hoyland, whatever, however you say Rasmus's name, it like that guy couldn't hit the broadside of a barn for United. He scores for fun in the Serie A, which again maybe comes back to my old my original stat at the top, where Jamie Vardy is the player of the month in Serie A. So maybe Serie A, what used to be like this, Catenaccio heavy defense, is like a nice warm spa day for forwards and attacking players.
that's true.
You need some recuperation? Yeah, go do do a season in Serie A and recoup.
Oh man. Speaking of lesser leagues, the MLS, the playoffs concluded. Inter Miami kind of stuck their boot up Vancouver. The Whitecaps, they were defeated in Miami. So, congrats to Don Garber and Miami for winning a title when you clearly had way too many designated players. But Garber just said, "Nah, it's fine. Just let them have it."
Yeah, whatever.
Congratulations.
Messi's on the team. Bring out the friends, and
Yep.
we'll figure it out. Well, some Brazilian billionaire who lives in Miami is gonna pay you under the table for his car washes, but we're gonna lower your salary so that you can. Yeah, you're on $8 a month, but
Yeah.
you're on the team.
Exactly. Yeah. Other news, more relevant to us in the MLS, LAFC hired Steve Cherundolo's lead assistant, Mark DeSantos, to replace him. I don't know. He had a pretty unimpressive run when he was Vancouver's manager. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. He was two manager, or they have their current manager. They had the manager that had the meltdown, and then DeSantos was before him. I'll just say I'm in wait and see mode here. His Vancouver teams were like very organized, very defensive. I think they were kind of hell to play against from what I can gather talking to sources in the MLS, just because of how organized they were, but not very offensive at all, which scares me. But I'm just going to hold out hope that the talent level that he had there was very different from an attacking perspective than what he'll have at his disposal at LAFC. I think, like in general, like I said, I'm in wait and see mode. But if you force me to give it a grade, I'm going to give the higher, solid C. It just didn't seem like LAFC made a run at any big names. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. They kind of know what they think they know what they have in this guy. He kind of knows the players. So hopefully everyone's on board with this. Hopefully Son's on board, Mwanga's on board with this guy. So maybe it works out, but I don't have the highest hopes for this one.
It's not the most like encouraging signing. It doesn't like instill hope and like get everybody like the fan base fired up for like no one gets unless it's some legendary player who's an assistant or a club legend. Nobody when there's an internal hire, no one gets to
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
talking and puffing out their chest like yeah we got him.
yeah.
Hopefully there's been a lot of conversation with Sonny. Hopefully there's been conversation with Bouanga to get like buy-in of like this is the right move. You would like to hope. Then he just revealed I saw a new Adidas commercial with him. I don't know if it's his own signature shoe, but he's got a big sponsorship now, which I love to see. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll see how it all nets out, right? I mean, it's who knows.
Yeah, yeah. U.S. men's
It's,
national.
it's so random that like you can't really talk too much about it. You're
No,
kind of like,
no,
all right, well, this is what happened, and like,
Look. He was under five. He was under 500 at Vancouver. This is like he was an original assistant when Bradley came over to LAFC. Like when LAFC started, he was on the staff for Bradley. He left, was Vancouver's head coach, failed, came back under Cherundolo, and it's not like the team's been like super on a big ascension. It's kind of like we won the title, and then it's kind of been like up and down since then. So it's hard to get like too excited about it. It's not like they brought in like if you bring in even like a name like an MLS name that's had success somewhere else, like that would be more exciting from a fan base perspective. But look, it's not the sexy move. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. As long as we get to keep Bouanga and Son and he lets them play like how they were playing at the end of the year. I'm not gonna like truly complain about it. Hopefully we get some signings this offseason, can get more of like a midfield on the team.
yeah.
But
I think you touched on it there. It's about building on what we already have. If this guy comes in and all of a sudden he's gonna like, yeah, we're gonna instill a new playing style. It's like no. Like we've got something that's working. We need to develop it further and grow to get where we want to be, which is contending for the title every single year and all the other trophies. But if he comes in with like this, I've got ideas, you're like, oh God, here we go.
with all due respect, we've seen your ideas as a manager, and we were not impressed. So, I imagine, like, again, that LAFC have a front office, they have a general manager, that they know this guy, they know what he's planning on doing. I can't imagine that his plan is like, oh no, we're going to become a super defensive team and try to win games 1-0. I don't think that they would be on board with that. So, look, wait and see. I still give it a C, like a C grade.
I agree.
Yeah.
We'll hold out hope is what where we're at.
Another place where we're holding out hope, and it seems like we started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We are fully in the light right now. Is the U.S. men's national team? We are scoring goals at the club level. Pulisic comes off the bench against Torino on the road for AC Milan and turns a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 win with a brace in like the first 10 minutes he was on the pitch. That was on Monday. And then in Champions League, we got goals from Pepe Balogun and a peach from Weston McKennie. So,
Oh,
look, we're firing. It's nice. Like we were down in the dumps in August. Started seeing a little bit of light in like September. Saw a lot of light in October. We're fully basking in the sun in November. Got a nice draw. Players are fired. It's like almost feels like, can the World Cup come sooner?
I know, right? I mean, look, like Pulisic right now, with him, it's going to come down to health. Like, is he just
Yeah.
not? Does he or does he not pick up something at the end of the season for Milan? I saw a stat. I think he might have the most goal involvements of anybody in like the Europe's top leagues, something like that. Like his goal and assists are put him in that stratosphere, which is amazing. Like obviously, he's our captain or vice captain. He's one of our leaders, right? So
My
like seeing
captain's still
that,
Tyler Adams. I'm just gonna.
yeah.
That's my captain.
Let's be honest. Um, McKinney, we've talked about him a lot. We're not impressed with where his mentality was, what he was doing. He's starting to score goals, which is fantastic.
And
Almost feels like a new signing for the
look,
U.S. if he can come back and be what he was 3 years ago. Let's say.
and this is one of those things, right? Like you let guys like you let some new blood in to play for the national team, like Berhalter. We've been talking about him, right?
Yeah.
McKinney's looking over his in the past 3 years. McKinney looks over his shoulder. There's nobody there. Like he has to play. He has to play. Like
Yeah.
there's no one even close to him. Now all of a
Yep.
sudden he's been kept out of a couple international breaks on the side. Berhalter's been playing well for the national team. Just quite a great playoff stretch for him in MLS. And all of a sudden McKinney's like, ooh, my spot I might not be in the 11. I better work my ass. And look, I'm not saying he wasn't trying before, but
He wasn't. I'll say it. He wasn't trying. That dude got very comfortable. I play for Juve. I'm the man. I can just show up. I don't need to put in the work. You know, like it's all there. Whether he'll ever come out and say it, but I'm sure if you talk to players, they were like, that dude's phoning it in big time.
and now he might be behind Berhalter. Like if the
Yeah.
World Cup started tomorrow, it's quite possible Berhalter would start and McKinney would come off the bench. So if this is what it took to like light a fire under his ass to get, like I still think his ceiling is probably higher than Berhalter's just because we've seen what he could be. Like McKinney was awesome like 4 or 5 years ago. So if he can get back to that, like that's awesome. But at the very least, we got him fighting to get there again. Instead,
Yes. Well, it speaks
this is
competition.
exactly
You need
exactly.
competition within any team. Otherwise, that team will get complacent.
Yeah.
If you know you have, like, if you know your spot is secure and it's like very secure, you're not gonna. I mean, humans are humans. Some are driven like monsters, and they will keep pressing forward for their own ego and legend and all those things. But a lot of players will get comfortable and they won't try as hard because they know, like day in day out, I'm going to be playing that position. I'm good. We have never had depth from a competitive level at the national team. Like we had guys, they're the main guys, and
100%.
we trot out those main guys, and we didn't have this deep roster of people that can come in and steal a position. Like again, like a Roldan having had some good results is great. He's not going to be pushing for like a starting role. Seb Berhalter is a player who's come in and is actually legitimately competing and could take a spot. You know what I mean? Like, so the more depth, the more competition we have as a nation, those growing pains that we need to get to go to that next level. And maybe it was maybe Berhalter, his rise was just what McKinney needed to like get in the gym, put in the extra work, get things done to like get back to where he was.
Yep.
Otherwise, he was going to miss the boat. World Cup at home, like there's nothing bigger. Like playing in your own in a hosted World Cup, it has to be as good as it gets for a soccer player. It has to be.
And like, this is your chance to become a legend in your country, right? Like, look.
Yes.
A lot of people in America watch the World Cup. They watched it when it was in Qatar. They watched it, but it is going to be the focal point of everything in America, like because of where it is. Like I remember, I was 10, not quite 10, almost 10, when it was here in '94, and like I wasn't a soccer fan when I was 10, but like I remember watching every single World Cup, like not just the U.S., but like watching all the Brazil games, and like that's all anybody was talking about that summer was like World Cup, World Cup, World Cup. And granted, a lot of the game, like a lot of the big games were in Pasadena, so it was in LA. But we're getting 2 home games in LA this year with the U.S. and like this is going to be what everyone's attention is on. And so if you're McKinney and you're thinking like, or anyone on the U.S. team, like this is your chance to shine and not only become like a superstar, but like sponsorships, like endorsements, every like this is a life-changing opportunity. Life-changing opportunity. Yeah.
Think what the Olympics does for U.S. athletes. And that's obviously on a lower tier because like those players are only ever important once every 4 years. Do you get a downhill skier who all of a sudden's on like a, Wheaties box? But like also the reality is probably hitting those guys. They're not the young dudes anymore. McKinney's 27 years old. Yeah. Guess what? Next World Cup, like when's his birthday? Birthday's in August. His next World Cup, like 31. You're 31, Al. You're potentially over the hill. This could be your last hurrah.
And you're McKinney. You're not a central defender or a forward. You're a box to box.
It's better with age where you can just like still hunker down. Yeah, if you're a box to box like goal scoring midfielder,
you're 30.
Your window
is
not that. It's a short window. Let's just put it that way.
And I mean, I think we've talked about this before. Like Yunus Musa, like that was a guy who I was like, oh. World Cup.
I don't even know where does he play now. I don't even know where he plays.
He's playing in a big league, I think, but he's not playing.
He's probably in France. Yunus Musa.
No, I don't. I think he might be in Italy or Germany.
Oh, he's in Italy. He plays for Atalanta.
But I don't think he's playing. Like I think he's coming off the bench. So that guy's not going to make the World Cup team, which is unfathomable. This time 4 years ago.
Yeah. He was like, oh, we'd all sit around and watch games and be like, dude, this Musa kid is a stud. Like,
was there 3 M's in that mid? It was McKennie, Musa. Was it the triple M midfield? It was McKennie, Musa. Was there one more, or was it just M and M? It was just McKennie and Musa. There might be a third M.
I can't think of.
Let me see. 2022 U.S. World Cup roster. Let me see.
He came off the bench in the Champions League against Chelsea. When did he sub in? He got garbage minutes in the 87th minute, so he's not in anyone's plans.
Yeah, no, it's not looking good for him. Go back. Hold on, where?
I don't know why. The only name I can think of is McKenzie, but is there?
Maybe it was just. Yeah, it was just MM, I guess. Who was the other one? There were like 3 mid. No, it was just. No, it must have just been it. It was just McKennie. Maybe it was McKennie Musa. And then it was MMA. McKennie Musa Adams. That was the acronym. MMA. Yeah. So Adams is still there, but Musa's not going to be there, and McKennie may or may not be there. All right, that will do it for our national team talk today. Before we go, we should do our predictions, our betting predictions this week. I did do a deep dive this week. I didn't love any of the underdogs in the Prem this week. None that I was willing to stick my name on. So I have 2 goal scorers for you this week. One is like it's plus money, so I feel like it still counts, but it was kind of on the more layup-y side. So I've got 2. We talked about him earlier today. This is the Ginger Prince on Newcastle, Anthony Gordon, anytime goal scorer, plus 360. And I also have Saka, plus 135 against Wolves. That one feels like if I can get plus money, potentially on pens for Arsenal against a very bad Wolves side, there's a 99% chance as of right now that he's going to be my captain this week. So just kind of putting it all on Saka, and then throwing in the Gingy Prince, Anthony Gordon, because it seems like he's on pens for Newcastle, and like you said, Newcastle have kind of been up and down. I feel like we might get a bit of a run from them, so I'm going to stick with him. So those are my 2 goal scorers this week.
And if you look at the intangibles of that Gordon pick, you got the Wear-Tyne derby. So that's Sunderland, Newcastle. That's going to be a heated affair.
Yeah.
There's high likely, I'm talking out of my ass here, but like, I feel like in those derbies, there's a higher likelihood of a penalty. You got a lot of intensity going on. It's at Sunderland. So that's the game I'm going to be watching. I will wake up Sunday morning to watch that game versus Spurs versus Forest. That'll be a shit game. Sunderland Newcastle is going to be an all-timer, I feel like. Because they haven't had that derby in like 20 years, I want to say. I don't have the specifics in front of me. So Anthony Gordon's on pens. That's all he seems to be scoring lately is penalties. So him to score, I like that one in that match. Saka, I would 100% agree. Like I've already dropped. I've already made one transfer. Saka came in for me. That just felt like a no-brainer. And he's got the armband on at the moment. So unless I hear something different, I'm the same with you. So we're not gonna have any spoilers or shocks there. I think my pick for this week is Sunderland do get a win over Newcastle. That's gonna be my pick. And you know what? It's weirdly not an upset because Sunderland is above them in the table.
I was looking at that very closely. So if you take the draw into the equation, which I don't know if you want to do or not, it's Sunderland's plus 225. If you take the draw out of the equation, so if they tie, you get your money back. Sunderland is still a dog at home at plus 130 against Newcastle. So as the person who's actually going to put money on this, I'm going to put it on the tie no bet, because I don't like to lose when to pick a team to win and then they draw and then you lose money just feels really bad to me. So I'm going to your tie.
That's what makes betting tough is the draw element, because you can pick just a straight result in other sports. Obviously, you can play against the spread and whatnot, but when there's the third lever of a draw, it's always like, ugh, late goal draw. You're like, ah.
Yeah. So that's so just to so Sunderland tie no bet plus 130. I'll be putting 1 unit on that. Then I'm going to put 1 unit each on Saka plus 135, Gordon plus 360, and then I'll probably do a half unit on a Saka Gordon 10-1 parlay. So we're going to have 4 units on the line. We're plus 4 units on the season so far. So even if we lose, we're even Steven for the year. But that'll be
the
bets of the week.
Ike scoring against Brighton.
Yeah, we'll have to recap that one next week.
What do you think about an Ekitike scoring against Brighton?
He was a very popular transfer in this week. I saw on the fantasy. He is the most likely to score in that. He's plus 110 to score in that game. The only problem I have is what's his minute split going to be with Isak, and are they going to be on the pitch together, and then who plays where?
They both started in the Champions League.
Yeah, but Szoboszlai is on pens, or was on pens. So then where it's interesting. I don't. Is he going to play 90? That's the only thing I'm afraid. If I knew Ekitike was going to play 90 and he was going to be in the middle the whole game, then I'd be like, he's been the one that's been scoring goals of all their new signings, impressively. That's my only concern with him. I wish I could bet against Verts to score, because that would have made so much money on this year. Szoboszlai is interesting if he's on pens. He's plus 310. His price has gone up already this week in fantasy too. A lot of people have brought him in.
Yeah, I mean, you got 5 free transfers. People are going to go hog wild,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah,
so many players now that the marketplace just
yeah.
lights up. Yeah, they went Ekitike, Isak, McAllister, Gravenberg,
So
Jones, Szoboszlai.
he played through the he played in front of Isak then.
I didn't watch that game.
I'm gonna look at. I mean, ESPN always blows the formation, but I'm just gonna look and see.
Yeah, played. He did play 90.
Yeah,
Isak subbed off for Wirtz.
yeah. That's a good shout. I like that shout. Let me see.
I can't work him into my fantasy plans, but I
Lineup.
could. I
Because they played two up front. They played like a 4-1-2-1-2, and he played.
classic strikers
Yeah.
going at it. Miss those days. So fun to
I,
watch this team.
so I didn't know that. I gotta see. Maybe I throw that one in there too. I don't know. Well,
Like, I look at like potential upsets on this. I would say, I think, well, again, it's not an upset, but I think for me, I think Sunderland probably could get a result against Newcastle.
yeah.
Nottingham Forest, Sean Deitch has come in and turned things around for them.
So they're
They won.
They're
They won in the conference. They're favorites in that game. I could see that.
It's minus.
Spurs
So,
won away.
they're minus 125 and Spurs are minus 105 with the tie no bet. So like they're a very slight favorite over Tottenham. So I was looking at that one. The thing like
As a Spurs fan, I could see us fucking losing.
uh, or what were some of the other ones this week? It was like Leeds Brentford. If it was at Leeds, I would like Leeds, but it's on the road at Brentford, so I didn't like that one. Um,
Palace at home to City. Like obviously, you have your own like Palace. I mean, Munoz got hurt, so that kind of hurts them a little bit.
yeah, when when Saha was on Palace, they would always beat City. Like always beat City. That's a good one. That one's one where I don't really want to bet it just because I would be rooting
Yeah.
against it.
Across the too many streams.
Yeah. Yeah.
I though I would fucking bet Nottingham
Yeah,
Forest.
that-
That's almost like a hedge, right? Because like we're mid table, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we lose another game, whatever. We're not competing for anything. I could see us. It's like Forest win, you win the bet. Spurs win, you're happy. You know, I think that's how I would play that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we're too close to the top that I'm like, I really don't want anything to do with
Yeah.
Palace winning or drawing.
I can see that being a tough. I can see that being a really good game. If I wasn't going to watch the Sunderland Newcastle game, that would be the one I.
The like for people that I mean, no one watches this anyway, but for people that are somehow stumbling upon this and watching, like Schwartz is a big Spurs fan. His kids always wear Spurs jerseys, and for him to be like, "No, we're watching Sunderland Newcastle, boys." I mean, it goes to show you two things. One, that game could be pure cinema, and two, like Spurs aren't worth watching right now. It's double.
No, they're not.
Yeah, double.
They're not. And I'll be the first to admit it. I've wasted a lot of mornings watching games, trying to get the boys to watch, only just to be like, what am I? There's nothing even happening in the game. We're not doing anything. Like, you can't even point to it and be like, that was cool. That was cool. It's just like a lot of knocking the ball around.
Yeah.
Just nothing inspiring. Even the like stadium is quiet. Yeah, diehard Spurs fan. But you know what I'll be doing? I'll be watching the Ware Tyne Derby that morning. That has some cachet to me. But I will have it on my phone. I will have our game on the phone, but on the big screen will be that match.
I think I'll be opposite. I think I'll have City Palace on the big screen, and I'll have the derby on my phone, or maybe my iPad. Maybe we'll go triple screen, and I'll have. That'll make Emily super happy. What do you got 3 screens?
Yeah. Hell are you doing? All right, honey, I'm just trying to focus here.
Yeah. The third,
all right, well,
the third screen I'd have the next Sharon Moore arraignment on it. So who knows? Yeah.
Nice. I'm actually starting to feel bad about that whole thing. Like
I
I actually
mean,
do feel bad. That guy's lost his
his
life.
yeah, his whole life just crumbled. He probably felt like he was invincible and on top of the world, and then
Sure.
literally his whole life came crashing down in the course of like 30 minutes. Like you got
You didn't know how
fired.
to
Yeah,
process that. I don't know how you would process that. Losing your job, probably losing your family,
yeah.
losing it all, and
It's
it.
it's like very reminiscent, almost of like Tiger, uh, like when that
Yeah,
happened with him. Uh, yeah, very. I mean, like, look, he brought it on himself. I still can feel bad for a guy like whatever happens to him. His actions, like, he deserves it, but I can still feel sorry for him as like a human being. Feel really
yeah, that's
bad for the
exactly.
woman too. Like, I feel like too often, like, people victim, like, they blame, like, oh, he was married. She, like, it's not her responsibility. Like, whatever he's doing with his marriage is not her responsibility. She doesn't need to, like, it's not the best thing in the world to do, but also she shouldn't be dragged through the mud in all this. This is a him thing. Like, this is his problem that everyone, all the focus should be on him and not on her. But yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I,
yeah,
look,
all
you
that
never
female,
know what look.
female
These
empowerment stuff and all the women thing. Like, dude's married. You know, you
But you
could.
never know what he like. The other thing is, like, nobody knows what Sharon's relationship with his wife is like. There are all sorts of weird things going on in marriages these days where, you know, sometimes people are cool with certain things, and you never know. So, like, who knows what he told her and what the truth is and all this. We'll never find that out for sure. But yeah, I mean, like, just it's, look, it's really bad for my football program, but it's also tremendous content on the internet. So it's one of those, like, you can't help but laugh at some things. At the same time, again, just kind of, yeah, it's rough. Uh,
Michigan are on a Jamie Carragher like run these last couple days,
yeah.
owning the spotlight. Well, at least you get a new coach out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's,
like,
from a
like,
club perspective, from a school perspective,
yeah.
you got some potential
Net,
help.
it's a very high likelihood that the new coach is going to be better than him at the end of the day. So yeah, it ends up probably being a net positive like 5 years down the line. But that's crazy. It's a crazy Wednesday afternoon. All of a sudden, like, you look down at your phone and it's like, oh, oh. I just, like, kept every 30 minutes. It just got worse and worse and
Yeah.
worse
I was
and
like,
worse. Yeah.
what? Now he's arraigned? Like, what? And
Yeah.
then, like, the more that onion comes back, you're like, oh,
Yeah, and again, like, I think we're still. I don't think the onion's fully peeled yet. I think
no. We're just getting the crumbs
yeah,
at the
like,
moment. Like,
already stuff's coming out that twice before this, the university investigated claims of him making unwanted advances against women at the school. This was the third one that they had to investigate, although this wasn't an unwanted advance. But yeah, no, this guy was permanently horny. He was permanently horny.
that, well, that lessens the feeling sorry.
Yeah,
Then it's kind of like, bro, you
yeah,
got your hand slapped multiple times. Like, you're like a serial offender at that point. Like,
yeah,
if for whatever reason it was a one off with this one woman and that was like a thing, and then you would just be like, all right, man, you fucked up royally, like royally. Whatever. I don't even.
yeah,
There's no justifications for it. But, like, if you're a multiple time offender and then this is the one that just took you down, then it's like, all right, well,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
feel that
and
bad for you.
it was like a relationship dating back to 2022. So it was a 3 year relationship. Uh, yeah, it's yeah, not great, not great, Sharon. But yeah,
Great. Oh,
we'll see what happens. Anyway,
and the church.
Fantasy OO podcast. Like, comment, subscribe down below. We're working on this. I feel like we're getting better every week. Hit the buttons,
Yeah.
helps engagement. We're going to get sponsors at some point in the future. But until then, crack on. Cheers. We will see you on the other side.
Happy watching.